I don't know where it cut me off, but I don't know if I was done or not with you.
Dave, obviously, if you coach as long as you do, you're going to have some tough losses to go with all the big wins. But from a regular season standpoint, just how tough a loss was that? You can't hold a 4-run lead in the ninth.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the tougher ones. It was really one of the tougher ones because of where we are. I mean, we fought like crazy. We're got our number two catcher going. We're pitching with freshmen. Our center fielder hurts his hamstring. Um, our three-hole hitter has a broken thumb. I mean, we got issues and we still almost won the game. And I thought we fought well. We played pretty well. It's just we didn't finish. Some people will always wonder, well, why do you, save that really good pitcher and you don't start him? Well, there you go. You got to be able to finish the game. And I don't know if you guys heard what I said earlier because I don't know when this thing blacked out, but did you hear our pitching plan for the day or did I get cut off?
I think we heard the plan. You basically said the problem was Gage wasn't able to go as long as you'd
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah. I mean, that threw us in a bind there because that put a lot of pressure on Christian and his, Gates threw 52 pitches and got 4 outs or 5 outs maybe. And, it made it a little tougher. And then give Georgia credit, man. Those dudes, they got their hits and they got the big hit.
And then on the ejection, did the umpire warn you, or I guess from your perspective, how'd that all go down?
No, he didn't warn me that time. He gave me a warning earlier, and so that was a big. I think what do we have, a 1 or 2 run lead, and it's either a 1-2 or a 2-2 count on Borfin, and he called a slider that was down and away for a strike. It was definitely a ball, at least from our angle. If it was over the plate, it was definitely low, and so we got on him pretty good, and so he decided, to give me a warning. He had already admitted that he rang up McLaughlin earlier in the game on a ball and apologized to him, and we got after him pretty good about that. But that was during a 10 or 12 pitch at bat, and he took the bat right out of the kid's hand. So there's a lot of frustration going on in the dugout. So to answer your question, no, he just said, "See you."
And that was, you argued, the 3-2 call. What'd you think of that 3-2 pitch that he rung him up on?
Uh, it, I don't know what the count was on Borfin. That was a definite. That's what I'm talking about. It was a ball.
Yeah, it
And
was 3-2. Yeah.
it was, yeah. Well, it was 2-2 or 3-2, but all I know is it was low, and it looked like it was low and away, and it was kind of shocking call to us on the other side. We couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I got a couple more if time allows. I'll turn it back to Oliver. Thanks, Dave.
Hutch,
Dave, you said the plan was Wood and Fouch. Does that mean Dylan Carter was not available today?
Yeah, we were letting him rest. Just he's pitched a lot for us. He has having just a little bit of soreness, and he hasn't had much soreness, just normal stuff. But we just felt like we don't want to hurt him, obviously, and we didn't feel like we could put him in there.
And then speaking about the umpire, it looked like you're upset on the play with Josenberger. Did he tell you that it wasn't a reviewable play, or what was your perspective on that
Yeah,
play?
yeah. They said it wasn't reviewable because it wasn't close enough to the base. So, and then they told me that the home plate number told me that he felt like that he tagged him anyway. So he said, I don't know what you guys saw.
He missed the tag. But
Yeah.
also, you said hamstring with Josenberger. Do you have any other update? Is it a concern, or what do you think?
Yeah, it's a concern. Those usually take some time. So I'm going to say it's going to take some time.
Andrew Ellis,
Yeah, coach, I believe the last time you guys were swept was Mississippi State in 2018, and they ended up going on a run to the College World Series, and you guys did, obviously. Is there any type of parallel to make there or any type of silver lining to take from that?
Well, I don't think so at this time. I mean, we're just trying to patch this thing together until we can get all of our guys back. We just got to win enough games to, to get to a playoffs or a regional, and because we're talking, there's going to be a lot of conference games played without our guys, and we've got to find a way to win.
And you touched on it a little bit with Hagan and how you need a guy like that to finish games, but I was just wondering what you made of his start and how do you overall evaluate his role moving forward for your pitching staff?
Thought he did a great job. You know, he would tell you he didn't have his best stuff, but his stuff was good. You know, he made a mistake, gave up 2-run homer on a breaking ball that he left up, and he knew it right when it left his hand. But other than that, he competed hard. I thought he finished strong, and there's a lot of chirping going on between both teams there a little bit. And I don't know. Going forward, just depends on who all we got healthy and what we're going to do. We're just going to continue to use him out of the pen if we need to, and if we get a chance to start him in the last day, we might.
Robert,
Coach, you mentioned that chirping. I noticed that Smith was, talking to their dugout as he was walking off in the fifth. Do you know what any of that was about?
Well, they were talking to him too. So, you know, he was just pissed off. They're over there talking a little crap, and he finished off the last hitter with the strike. I think they didn't like, he complained about not getting a strike, and it, so they had a few words for him. Then he ended up getting the strikeout. That's basically what went down.
And then with Hudson Polk, you talked about, your starting catcher being hurt, but he came through with a home run today. Are you encouraged by what you saw from Polk?
Yeah, I thought Polk had a really good day. I think he drove in a couple runs and caught well and blocked well, and he really came through for us this weekend for the most part.
Daniel,
A lot of deep counts for Hagan. I'm just wondering how you thought about his command and 3 walks, and I think 8 or 9 3-ball counts.
Yeah, I had a lot of 3-ball counts, and he fought back on most of them. Like you said, he walked, 3 or 4, and battled hard. I think he had 8 strikeouts, and the 3-2 counts, too many of those. That's why his pitch count got up. But he used a lot of emotion and a lot of adrenaline in that last inning, and we just felt like it was time to get him out. And he pitched well and gave us every opportunity to win the game.
Bob, you close this out, please.
Yeah, Dave, I know this weekend obviously didn't go like you wanted to, but Diggs seems like he's making some plays in right field. McLaughlin's done pretty decent DH. You just talked about Polk. And with the injuries you're dealing with, how do you feel about moving forward and kind of how guys have filled in, spots where maybe you didn't anticipate them having to play in SEC play?
Yeah, I mean, guys, they work hard every day. We told them there was going to be times where we were going to have to battle it a little bit, and guys were going to have to step it up and get, they're going to be in the lineup, at the blink of an eye, bang, somebody gets hurt. Next thing you know, you're in the middle of the battle and a big game. I mean, it's like Grimes. All of a sudden he was in the game, and it didn't go great for him at the plate. He fought a little bit, but he never put the bat on the ball, and he's better than that. So hopefully, when he gets his time, he can come through for us. I mean, we're probably going to have to make some adjustments this week and maybe move some guys around, play other positions.
Diggs in right field, what do you thought of him? I thought he made probably 3 pretty notable catches this weekend.
Seems to be getting better day by day and game by game. I mean, give him credit. A little shaky at first, and now I think, he seems to be getting comfortable there, where he just goes out there and, runs them down, and he's not making it look easy every time, but he's had some tough plays and he's come up with them.
I assume we might not talk to you before Missouri State. I know you probably haven't given that game too much thought, but that's a team you obviously play every year, and you're very familiar with their program, and Nate was there and all that stuff. Just what's your take on that game, and does a midweek game take on added significance after a tough weekend like this? Do you feel like, hey, you got to get some momentum back before you play SEC play again?
Yeah, Missouri State Arkansas game is usually a good midweek game. It's usually very competitive. Obviously, I think Missouri State plays hard. They have a good program. They work at it. I don't know exactly where they're at in record-wise this year, but I've seen a lot of their scores. They played Missouri tough. I think they got beat by a run the other night. Missouri might have scored 2 in the last inning to beat them last Tuesday. I think that was in Columbia. But they're usually get good games. They have a beautiful ballpark they play in, and yeah, I mean, after you lose like we did today and lose 3 in a row on the road, it would be nice to gain a little momentum before A&M comes in, because A&M is playing really well right now.
Yeah, just FYI, they're 22-16 and just swept Belmont.
Yeah.
Hutch, last one. We got to play the catch.
Yeah, Dave, you gave Cole a start yesterday, went back to Bolton today. How do you assess that position moving forward? Is it a game by game type of deal?
Yeah, it is a little bit. It's to me that's always going to be a defensive position first. If there's a situation where we get down early or something a bunch, then might put the offensive player in there, a little more offensive player. But to me, it's a defensive position.
Coach, thanks for the time.
Okay.